Okay, everyone, I'm going to teach you how to use Zotero. And I have of course, step-by-step on how to use Zotero in my class, but you get the advantage of this fabulous recording with me teaching you how. So what you're going to want to do is probably put this recording, maybe play it off of your phone from the Brightspace D2L app so that you can do things on your computer while you're listening, or you could put this on a different computer. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start at Zotero.org. That's Zotero.org, O-R-G. And you're going to come up with this Zotero page. And there's this scary red download button. So I'm going to have you click this download button, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what Zotero is. Zotero is a bibliographic management program. And what it does is it takes your sources and it puts them into a little Zotero library on your computer, and you can organize them by your project. So you've got 2 different papers and 2 different classes. You can set up 2 different folders for those papers. And you can keep a little library for each one of those, and then they all go into a master library that's on your machine. Okay, so you have one part of the Zotero is on your machine. The other part of Zotero is on your browser. So before we start, there's a couple things you need to know. Number 1, Zotero does not work, does N-O-T, not work on Chromebooks. So if you have a Chromebook and that's your only computer, I'm going to have you use a different tool, which I will talk about later. This only works on PCs, Macs, and Linux. Also, you must have, M-U-S-T, must have either Google Chrome or Firefox in your computer. You cannot use Safari. You cannot use Edge. So make sure you look right now at the bottom of your computer and see which browser you're using. Make sure that it's either Chrome or Firefox. And if it isn't, stop the recording now and get that, and then come back to this spot. Okay, so I'm hoping that you've got Chrome or Firefox and you are using a computer that will download Zotero. Okay, here we go. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to make sure that MS Word is not working on your computer right now. It's off, okay? So I'm going to go to my MS Word that's on the very bottom of here. You can't really see it on the recording, but I'm going to just check it and make sure that it's off, okay? Now, one of the reasons for that is that Zotero is going to be downloading a little connector to Word, and you want to make sure that your Word is off so the connector more easily loads. Okay, ready? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this download button for Zotero. This says 5.0 for Windows. You might have a Mac, you might have Linux, it will say something different, but I have to download this one right here. So I'm going to click on download. Okay, and it should be downloading. Hopefully it is. Here we go. Oh, it's downloading 15 of them now. Oh well. Okay, and the other one is that I have to install the Chrome connector. Now you have to do both, because part of the program lives on your computer and one part lives on your browser. So we're going to install the Chrome connector as well. Okay, mine says remove from Chrome because it's already here, as you can see. Now, once you install it in Chrome, the new Chrome has this weird little puzzle piece over here, and you have to click the puzzle piece, and then you have to go down and you have to pin Zotero, which is right here. You have to click this little pin button so that it'll show up, all right? So let me click it. All right. All right, so I'm working on a PC. You might be working on a Mac, so I'll try to give you directions for both computers as we move along. All right, so the first thing you need to do is I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on one of these thousands of Zoteros that I have uploaded, but I couldn't see past my recording. Let's see if I can click on one of them. Is it doing? Oh yeah, it's extracting. See that? See, yeah, see how it's extracting. Okay. So now it says, do you want this app to make changes to your device? I have a device that is controlled by the college, But the college has whitelisted this. So if you do it in any labs at the college, you'll get the same message here. I'm just going to turn it off, and then it'll give me my Zotero wizard. I'm going to install it. Now, if you have a Mac, what's going to happen is it'll ask you to drag Zotero into your hard drive. So you just drag it in there, and then it will be in your Mac. So that's the difference here. Okay, so I'm waiting for it to install Zotero. Okay. All right, come on. Install Zotero. I had to uninstall it before I made this video so that you could see how to install it. Hopefully it installs. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to hit finish. All right, so once you have Zotero on your machine, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my search box, which you can't see from this recording. And I'm going to search for Zotero. I'll move this up a little bit so you can see me searching. I guess you can't. All right, I'm just going to type in Zotero, Z-O-T-E-R. There it is. Okay, I'm going to click on it so that it opens. And it should be down at the very bottom. And when it is at the bottom, let's see if I can move this down here. Ah, there we go. Now you can see. So here it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click it. Now if you have a Mac, it'll say options. If you have a PC, it'll just say a pin. After you hit options on a Mac, it'll say, do you want to pin it to the taskbar? You say you're going to pin it. Okay, so that it's still here. And while I'm at it, I think I'm going to open up Word. So, let's see. I just want to look up Word. Come on. There it is. I'm going to click on it and open it now that I've already installed Zotero. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to pin Word to the taskbar because I want it to be here when I want to find it. This says it's already pinned to the taskbar, so all right. And then I'm going to move my thing up here. All right. Okay, so I have Word, and if you can see it, I also have Zotero here. If you do not have it, I will teach you in a later recording how to fix this. So don't worry, we're not going to do that right this second for this recording. Okay, so what you have, and I'm going to minimize the screen, my browser, and you should have, open Zotero. Okay, so you should have, oh my goodness, it added everything. You should have a library. It won't have all this stuff though, because I have all this stuff. I have a very big Zotero that I've been using for years, and that's why I took it off the computer, thinking that it wouldn't load all this stuff, but I guess it automatically loaded. So I can't show you what the blank library would look like, but it should say my library, and you should have a little notification that that's your Zotero library there. Okay, so one thing I want you to do is you're going to go to this little folder here with the plus sign in the corner, and you're going to click on it, and I'm going to type example here, and okay, and it should highlight it, and I want to make sure that it's highlighted. I'm going to click on it again just to make sure it's highlighted. Okay, all right. We're going to do the first thing with Zotero, which is to populate this example through the GSU library. So I'm going to reopen my Chrome. Right, and I'm going to go to GSU library. Okay, so right here I'm going to talk to you just for a second about the difference between structured and unstructured data for Zotero. So Zotero is just like you saw how fast it downloaded. It's just a little program. It's not a giant, big, huge, like MS Word suite or something that takes an hour to download. It's really quick. And the secret to Zotero is it works with especially in libraries and also on Google Scholar, which is scholar.google.com, which is a Google search for scholarly sources, and I'll talk about that later. It works with libraries and with Google with what's called an EBSCO file, and in that EBSCO file, Zotero knows where everything is. It knows, it can find the author, it can find the date, it can find the name of the article or the book, and when it was published. All that stuff is in the EBSCO file, so Zotero just accesses it. Unstructured data for Zotero is stuff that's on the web, but it may not necessarily have an organizational file like EBSCO connected to it. Sometimes they do, but a lot of times they don't. Like if it's a blog or it's a website from a university or something, sometimes those don't have everything where Zotero is expecting to find it. So in that case, Zotero has to be, you have to add to Zotero, add some information to Zotero to make your bibliographic stuff. But when you're working with structured data, it's really super easy. So on the library, we have structured data. So I'm going to go into Georgia State University Library. Okay, and I'm going to go down here to My Library Account. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on GSU Faculty and Staff. There's my library account. You can see I've checked out Research-Driven Pedagogy. Such an exciting read. All right, so now we're going to go to my library account, and we're going to go to library search. Now I'm going to search something. So let's say that we were arguing that, I don't know, about something about COVID-19 viral transmission and the fact that we should have the schools open. Let's try that. So COVID-19 is probably not going to be in the library because it's too recent. So we're going to put something in like viral transmission. Okay, so we're going to look up viral transmission. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to have a bunch of sources, God willing. Okay, yeah, here we go. So here's a whole bunch of sources that have something to do with viral transmission. Okay, now, way up here, next to your address bar, you're going to see that Zotero has put a little yellow folder here. If you hover over it, it says Save to Zotero. So I'm going to click on that. Okay, and you're going to see that the same things that are here are in this list. Okay, and Zotero is preparing to download these into your library if you want them. So you could either individually select what you want, or get that back. Could individually select what you want, or for the purpose of this, I'm just going to hit select all because I'm just teaching you how to do it. All right. So I'm hitting select all and I'm hitting OK. And it's downloading. So now when I open my Zotero, I will see all of these things that are in example. Do you see them? Okay. Now just a couple things. If I click on this, it's going to have some information over here. See, it says the info. This is the info. So the book, this is the title of the book. This is the author of the book. Here's the abstract. This is all coming from the EBSCO file. Okay? Now, I can also click here for notes. Let's say I wanted to write a note about this book that I found. I could just add a note. Then I could put something like, this mostly talks about cancer and HPV. However, there is a great definition of transmission on page 45. I'm making this up. I have never read this book. Okay, so, but let's say you were doing research. You could keep your notes there, and then to get out of the note, because it's very confusing, you're like, oh my God, how do I get out of this note? You just go up here and you click on the source again, and you're out of the note, okay? But the note is still there. You don't have to save it, all right? And so you can keep notes about everything that you're doing. You can also tag things, and it already has some tags in here, but you could add tags, and you can also cross-reference stuff. You can add, and I could just click any one of these. Here's another one about plant and virology. Let me see. SARS. Okay. Oh, here's HIV in youth. That's connected. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. So I have that connected. All right, and if I want to get back to the info box, I just go back here, and that's the information about this source. Okay, we're going to do one more thing in this video, and then I'm going to stop recording, and we'll move to the next video that you can watch at your leisure. Okay, so here we go. Right now, I'm going to do one of the most impressive things that you can do with Zotero. I'm just going to click on one of these sources. Okay, I'm going to hold down the Control key, or if I have a Mac, the Command key, and I'm going to hit V for, I'm going to hit A for all. Okay, so it turns all of them blue. Do you see that? All right, now I'm going to right click, and I'm going to choose Create Bibliography from Items, and click. Okay, so now I go alphabetically down to Modern Language Association, 8th edition, and also copy to clipboard. Those are the two things that I'm going to change here. I'm going to make sure that this one, Modern Language Association 8th edition, and copy to clipboard are both highlighted. That I hit OK. Now nothing happens. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. Okay. Now I'm going to open up Word. All right. I'm going to type Works Cited. I'm going to put it in the center. I'm going to hit a return. Okay. Oh, why is this not returning? Okay. All right. So I've got Works Cited, and I'm blinking right below it. All right. And I'm just going to hold down Control and then hit V for victory. Okay. And it's just going to paste all of that in. And so now I have a perfect MLA Works Cited page, MLA style. And for everything that was there, they're all alphabetical. The only problem with it is, remember I was telling you when we did the Greg Gutfeld thing, that oftentimes in Word now the hanging indent is a little bit off. It's not where it should be. And you can see that it's not where it should be. This first line should be equal with this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this whole thing just to fix the formatting. This is a word glitch. It's really nothing that Zotero has done. It's going to do this in Word anyway. So you just have to know how to fix it. Okay? And then we're going to hit View. Make sure that ruler is clicked. Okay? So that you can see the ruler up here. And I'm going to use this little square right here to move over both the arrows until the first arrow is equal with the margin. See that? Okay? And everything's perfect. Now you just save this and save it to your desktop, and you can upload that into the Simple Bibliography Made with Zotero assignment that is in iCollege. Okay, I'll be back for the next video soon.